Hi folks, hope you're doing well. So England just lost the Euros, so that's another chance of winning silverware that Southgate has let slip. And the whole idea that the FA will keep him on because he's the best man for the job, no. If that's the case, I think people should be demanding that the FA, that everyone in the FA gets sacked. Every single person should be sacked, because the reality is you've got to look to see if there's anyone better, and you've got to examine why we again didn't win. It is not a case where Spain were a much better team. They were not, because as soon as Spain scored, what did they do? They went back a bit. And then England had a chance to attack, and that's why they scored a goal with Cole Palmer. But England had the option of bringing on 4 more substitutions. So, he brought on Watkins, which I'm not sure if that was the right move. It didn't seem to be the right game for Watkins at all. Especially then, when you had Pickford just kept on hoofing the ball up front to nobody. Why bring on Watkins if you're going to do that? So if he's doing that because the manager told him to, then bring on Tony, don't bring on Watkins. He eventually brought on Tony with 4 minutes to go when Spain scored their second goal. Too late. 4 minutes to go now. People were crying out. Spain were basically getting the ball back every time Pickford had the ball. He just lumped it upfield somewhere. And so people were saying really early, after Watkins came on, that they've got to bring on Tony as well. If you're going to lump the ball up, you're going to have someone up there with strength and height who's good in the air, who's going to be able to challenge for that. Because Watkins isn't that. And yet, Southgate didn't do that. We had that threat on the left with Saka. Saka did okay. Sorry, the threat on the right, which would have been Spain's left. So we had a threat on our right, Spain's left. But on our left, no threat at all. 0 threat at all, again on the left. Now we've got Anthony Gordon on the bench, who has been an impressive player on the left for Newcastle all season. And yet, he hasn't brought him on. He gave him a tiny bit of a cameo in, I think, the first game against Slovakia, I think it was. But then brought Eze on after that, and didn't bring even on today. Wanted to trust Shaw, who hasn't played a full match since February. Right? Hasn't started a game or finished a game from start to finish since February, but he wanted to trust him to do all of that. Yeah. No. What really he should have done, he should have brought 4 players on. When he brought Watkins on and the goal scorer, I've just mentioned him previously, the Chelsea lad, he should have brought on Tony as well. And it should have brought on somebody, either Eze or Gordon, to go on the left and attack from there. Because if you want to stop Spain attacking with freedom, you've got to push them back. You've got to make them realise that you have a threat. All they had to do was double up on Saka, and basically the threat was nullified. Because there was no threat on the right. And again, that's down to the manager. So, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Southgate continues, even though he said that he will make a decision after the end of this tournament. Yeah. The problem is that in this deluded, upside down world that we live in now, people believe all the deluded crap that's spoken about them. So he will believe that he is the best manager since Alf Ramsey, even though he is not in any way, shape or form. He's not the worst, but he certainly isn't the best. He's been the luckiest by a long, long way. Guarantee you, in the next tournament we have, if we face a harder route, he won't get anywhere near the final. Nowhere near. Absolutely nowhere near. But when you look at the teams that England come up against, whether it's the World Cup or last Euros or this Euros, the routes have been so easy for England. So okay, he's been lucky. Cool. But again, what does that mean? Does it mean that he should be brought in? No. No, of course not. It doesn't mean that he should be brought in and kept in, certainly kept in, as being the manager for the next World Cup, because in the next World Cup, the problem is people now basically know what to expect. On this one, people were saying, maybe he learned from the last two. Yeah. But all they have to show from maybe he learned from the last two is the way he set up for the Dutch game, for the Holland game. Or, to say it correctly, the Netherlands game. And even that, yeah, we were looking as if we would lose that game until Watkins came on. And Palmer, that's it, Palmer. And Palmer set up Watkins for that goal. In that one, he did make substitutions early enough. In this one today, he did not. He did not. Yeah, because, yeah. Again, I mean, for me, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again now. I think Walker, that this should be his last ever appearance for England. I think the same should be said for Kane now. I think he's finished. He should be finished now. But again, let's be accurate. There was a time when it had to finish for Rooney and for Shearer and for Owen and for Lineker. So all the previous top strikers that we've had, their time came to an end. I'm pretty sure Kane's time has come to an end now. Because the next one will be 2 years' time. He won't be any better in 2 years' time. He will be slower. And at the moment, he's slow. So therefore, when you've got Ivan Toney and you've got Watkins and whoever else coming through now, Kane might be in the squad. But I'd be surprised if he starts. As I say, Walker, I don't think Walker's needed in any way, shape or form. We've got a lot of players who can play on the right. And in 2 years' time, I don't think he'd be playing for City anymore. And so, yeah. But again, today, his crossing today was abysmal. I wouldn't just say bad, abysmal. It was that bad. It was terrible. And this is from a player who is playing for a team that keeps on winning the Premier League. So that would suggest he was a decent player. The problem is, you watch him play, he's not showing that at all for England. In this competition, he has been so crap. Bright sparks, Foden, when he's played in the position that he can, well, only against the Dutch, really. He's very good against them. Bellingham, very disappointing. Very disappointing. Although, he's shown stuff. He just doesn't have enough around him, and that could be with Kane playing. I'm not totally sure. Because many times he gets the ball and there's no one else up there ahead of him. You add a pass. So he's been made to look poor, maybe, because of the players around him. Not sure. But it certainly is the case, if Bellingham had better players around him, he would look a lot better. So, yeah, I think a lot of it is down to the fact that, the players around him aren't particularly helping. No. So, I think Mainoo's done well. And so I think keeper-wise, I think Pickford, I don't think he should be the goalkeeper next time. The reason why we need a new manager is because we need a manager who's not going to just pick players who have been there for him in the past. Because again, with Pickford, if Pickford decided that he was going to hit the ball long back to Spain all the time, and it wasn't Southgate telling him to do that, then Pickford should never play for England again, because if he's making such stupid decisions in a game that keeps on giving the ball back to the opposition when you're under the cosh, and if his passing ability is that poor that you can never find a teammate, then sorry, you're not good enough. Not in today's times when goalkeepers have to be really good on the ball. I mean, you have some goalkeepers that have assists. Well, we need one like that, don't we, really? And that doesn't seem to be Pickford. So, yeah. In midfield, say Mainoo and Rice are still young, so they'll be there for the next one. Bellingham will be there for the next one. Shaw probably will be, but yeah, I don't think he's got many more to go, so we need to find someone else to replace him. Stones, young. Gay, young. There's some very good young central defenders that are English for the future, so that's not a problem. And yeah, wingers, we've got some good young wingers, so therefore the future still looks very bright, because Foden's very young, Bellingham's very young, but we just need a manager who's going to be proactive, a manager who's going to be coming from a position of faith rather than fear, and that isn't Southgate. So there you go, you take care, bye.